So our greenhouse, only in 2 weeks, it started to burst with growth, and spring was here, which is our greatest window for planting and getting new seeds in. So we really needed to transplant to the beds and to transplant from the seed trays to the bigger pots. I mean, look how massive this courgette is already.
So, courgette. Creo que radish. That's flowering already. Where it needs to go.
So in one day we had some courgettes on the land, some beetroot, and some munchtoot or sugar snaps. And while my mom started to carry on planting everything on the beds, I went ahead and started to transplant all of the smaller plants into bigger pots.
Just gonna plant it a little bit deeper. Do you like pickling cucumbers? I absolutely love them. And I thought it would be a good idea to grow our own, because you can make your own beautiful pickle. I don't know why they're so different, but I can see why they're different. They're definitely different.
I have been saving an enormous amount of UHT milk cartons, which I did last year as well. Planting pots have a cost, and I much prefer the square ones as they are easier to place next to each other and take less room as well, but they're quite pricey. So these cartons do the same thing. They save space, they stand next to each other, and they are free as well.
Look how root bound that is. You don't really want your plants to get to that point. So, but hopefully this is still. I just don't want to put them this small on the ground, because I don't think they will be very strong. These are sunflowers. Some people have asked my mother to be mic'd. I've done that. So basically, since yesterday, we have been placing a lot of the stuff that were in the greenhouse in here, because they were really, really, really big already. So we got a zinnia over here. And as you can see, it's not root bound, but it's getting there. Someone asked, when do you know when to replant things or plant them in here? Depends on the weather, but you want things to be quite a good size so they withstand wind and weather, and they're not going to be destroyed by the weather, basically. So there are some things in there that are very small, so those things are going to be kept in there for a while longer. And then once they are big enough, then we then we can then replant them. Simon is just drilling a little bit of the channeling for the grey water to go into the rooms, and he's just placing some of the tubing basically. It's a nice little nifty microphone, isn't it?
So it's another wet morning, and we're trying to do a little bit of work this morning before these massive dark clouds decide to open up and let loose. So at the moment Simon's trying to do a bit of shuttering for the final part of the wall, which will be part of the ensuite room. And what we've done is we've put some grey water and wastewater tubing in there for the future ensuite. So obviously that has to be done before you put all of the footings in. So that's what we've been up to. And yeah, we're going to be taking it a little bit easy. I think all of us are a bit under the weather at the moment, and I know that next week the weather gets a lot better, so we need to be full steam ready for that.
Yep, we have all been quite ill this past month, and that's why a lot of the tubing wasn't really filmed. But it's all now connected. The grey and black water connected to the inspection box, which was connected to the other inspection box earlier, which is all connected to the septic tank. The open end towards the bathroom has been blocked off with some plastic, and now that's all sorted, we can start the last pouring of the foundations.
One in, one out.
Yeah. Are you alright?
Yeah, tired.
Yeah.
Feel like getting my morning exercise in. My free gym membership.
Last wall.
Now that we have some foundations that have completely cured, we can then start placing the concrete blocks on them. Simon screws a string on some blocks to create a straight line, making sure it's at the same distance from the foundation edge at each end. This way he makes sure to place the concrete blocks in a straight line along the foundation. We are using 50 by 20 by 20 centimeter cement blocks for the first half of the external walls around the perimeter. The rest of the foundation will be used for the stone cladding, which will go around the perimeter of the building, making it look very similar to how it was before.
Okay.
Simon is leaving a big gap in between because here we'll have a big door with windows, mimicking the exact distance of the big window on the building adjacent my mom's room. You see, some have commented we're blocking my mom's view, but unfortunately we can't really change the layout of the buildings that were already here. So by placing a big window on this side as well, and another one on the other side towards the land, we're hoping to bring in my mom's room in and have some of that view as well. Before proceeding with more concrete and block work, we had to add the damp-proof membrane to the perimeter of the block work already done. You want the damp cores to be slightly higher than your finished floor, ideally at 150 millimeters.
Do that 'cause it's getting really hot.
My mom's going to Portuguese class today. Oh yeah, you already know.
Who?
My mom.
Yeah. I think that's really cool.
This roll of DPM, what is called sometimes, was shipped from the UK.
It's crazy doing this stuff.
Hey.
It just looks more real now.
Oh yeah?
It's slightly corrugated and it's made of plastic. Here in Portugal, they do have a similar product, as I later got to discover, which is made of some sort of tarred product and it peels soft to stick on top of the blocks. But this DPM roll works really well and we're very familiar with this product. It's also around 2 centimeters wider than the blocks, so the excess will be facing the stone cladding.
Like here. And I just have to kind of like plunk and then put some there. Is that more comfortable?
Okay.
I didn't really want to have a full go yet at placing the blocks because they can be quite tricky. They have to be added on as straight as possible, not only upwards but sideways as well. The mix also needs to be very precise and always as similar as the last one, otherwise they're going to dry up too quickly or just sinking if the mix is too wet. So filling in the gaps felt something I could do without jeopardizing the integrity of the build.
Thank you, cook, chef Omar.
I'm good at this.
And this is this is what we've done so far. Well, obviously Simon. He's just gonna go and get some meat for later. It's getting there. Yay! Okay, so here is the drip system ends, and they're rubbish. I don't think they work really nice, so I'm not gonna use them. What I found out on the internet is another method that you can use, which is with the actual drip system, and it's free because you already have the tape. So you cut a little bit of piece, and then you fold this in half. So you fold this, and then you fold it again, and then you make a U shape, and then you insert the little sleeve in, and it's actually much better. So that's what I'm doing before checking for any leaks, because then the pressure will be maintained. Okay. It's cat park, I guess. Naughty. Danny, you're not as agile as Luna. Remember, she's like half your age. Come on, Luna! Luna! Yeah, tell her, Luna. Him. Uh-oh. Donnie, you're being naughty.
Okay, here we are in my future kitchen. Obviously there's a lot of wall building being done. Yeah, we haven't recorded all so much of it. We've been very busy. Some of us have been a little bit ill. But as you can see, we're now 3 blocks high. Right now the plan is to complete the rest of the footings, to have 3 blocks high. And then what we'll be doing is switching over to the stonework. So we'll be cladding this blockwork with some stonework afterwards. Now we're very lucky, we've got some good weather now. And so I'm feeling very happy and motivated. So I think this week we'll get a loads done.
Before we could do that, we had to do a bit more block work. Also needed was to add some of that damp-proof membrane on the inner walls. As you can see, this inner wall here, the block wall, is on the outside, meaning that the front will be cladded with stone. We will have just one stone wall on the inside of this room, without needing to point it afterwards because it will be done with cement. It would also have a stove boiler on the front, giving the whole room a beautiful warm atmosphere. I cannot wait to sit in front of that fire.
Yeah, we want it not to the edge, about 10 mil off. About 10 mil in from this.
So Simon continued adding the cement blocks, We needed at least 4 rows so we could start the stone cladding on the outside. So for the rest of the day, we added the damp-proof membrane, we added the cement blocks, and filled in the gaps. And as we had a stellar productive day and had one of the best sunny days so far this year, we had to celebrate. Munch toot, sugar pots. You can just eat them raw. Right. Be bigger, the bowl.
I love that bowl.
Yeah, I know. Now we're talking.
This is what I prepared earlier.
After lunch, my fight with the irrigation system continued. At this point, I was starting to get a bit frustrated with it as it leaked everywhere, mostly now from the connections to the drip tape. The recommended first solution to add some zip ties did not work, so now the shop recommended to add about 2 revolutions worth of duct tapes to the elbows and the T-connections, and then the tape may fit a bit more snug into it.
So this bed over here, I'm going to make it into a no dig. So I'm not going to actually be digging anything. I'm just gonna put lots of soil on top and then make a bed and then see what happens. I like to experiment a little bit on that front and see. I think for me, this is so far the best way to end it. All right.
Okay, so another lovely day. We've decided to suspend block building and to focus now on doing the stone cladding. So what we're going to do is find some of the original rocks like this one. We have a massive pile over there. We had to clear it this morning because basically all these brambles had grown up through it and it was now attracting hornets. So yeah, we came in early this morning, gave it a bit of a snip, a bit of a haircut, maybe do a bit more tomorrow. But yeah, so anyway, we're going to need some rocks like this, and I'm gonna be looking for them. We're going to find a mix, and we're going to start making this wall right here look very, very nice.
Simon is going to start building the cladding for this wall. We're not going to help here because we're just watching and learning everything exactly what we need to do and to apply it to the other walls. Simon will be cladding this wall, which is in full view, and the ones in the courtyard, which are also quite exposed. Omar and I will be building the walls here, which can spare some mistakes.
The first rock
There you go.
of our living room. It's a nice golden nugget.
Probably never to be seen again once
Yes, it will.
once it all grows up with the grass.
There we go, the beginning of the wall. Okay, one of the mandatory jobs that you have to do every May here in Portugal is clear your land. So you have to trim it and keep it all short, trim the trees where they need trimming, take any of the dead wood and also waste wood and just get rid of it. You're not allowed to have any fires during the middle of the summer, obviously because there's a massive risk that everything could go on fire. So yeah, we've literally got another 5 days, and so I need to go around the land, pick up all the dead branches and bits of waste wood that we don't want and get rid of it. And also I'm just doing a general cleanup at the moment. So there's this big pile of glass that was there from the day that we purchased the property, and then we found loads of other glass, like loads and loads of wine bottles, and we just have been, that's been like our ancient glass pile. So I just want to get rid of it today. So I'm going to look for some nice strong gloves and some plastic buckets and start piling it in that, and then take it off to the recycling. So I did 2 plastic buckets, but I'm not even halfway done, so I'm going to take these down to the recycling. This is a job that I like doing. You feel so much better once you get rid of all this crap. He's on a run, a roll.
Wow. It's nice when it's like that high,
Yeah,
because
totally.
you're knocked down there.
Exactly, yeah. But it's looking good, huh?
Yeah, man, the neighbours will be able to see that as well, so they'll be like, oh, big. Big,
Yeah, man. So I'm showing our audience all the wall making you've done today. All of that. Wow. Unstoppable.
Wow, it's only...
I see that you've been very clever and worked into the shadow.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I slowed down when I got to here.
Yeah. Very cool, man. I've been trying to learn a little bit, so perhaps I can do a bit.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can see Simon did a great job yesterday, and we're going to carry on doing this. I think we're going to be doing this for quite a while, and I was watching him a lot, and so today I'm going to try and copy his style, and so hopefully it doesn't look like 2 different people built this wall. So first step is to pick up some rocks, and I'm going to do that now in the rock pile. anxiety.
A little bit of red and a little bit of quartz.
A little bit of Mary all night long. For those that are worried, there's already water in the barrel, but I'm going to put a bit more. Yeah, you would never put cement in a barrel without something. So I'm just gonna copy what I saw Simon do yesterday. So if anything goes wrong, it's his fault, not mine. Yeah, man. I saw the perfect stone to start with.
First stone, Omar.
First stone. Normally, it would be better to use a mallet.
Yeah.
So 31 here, that's 32.
That's fine.
Yeah, so as long as it stays beyond 32, I think we're good.
Yeah.
My first rock, Simon. Yeah.
It wants little mountains on it.
Yeah.
And then when you put one in,
Good.
tap it down gently
Yeah, yeah.
so it splodges into the mortar.
Okay.
And you want to look at the face. So they're like that one. That one's beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's good.
So this one I'm going to try and bring it back a tiny little bit.
I just live with that now, but as a rule of thumb, yeah, once
Yeah.
you start going out,
It's hard to come back.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, cool.
looking good, Lee.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. That's better.
Yeah, that's good.
We never underestimated the work it takes to build these walls with stone. While Omar did about this much in 30 minutes, Simon probably has done the work 3 to 4 times faster and with a much better finish. But we really wanted to get involved and learn. Even if it didn't look as good, we will look at it in the future and say, well, we did that. While Omar went away to get a better brush to wet the stones and another trowel, I took over for a bit. The weather today was scorching hot, so it was giving another dimension to an already exhausting hard-working day.
It's often the drier the brush is, the better it works. You can also very quickly wire brush afterwards.
All right.
Obviously it's another procedure, but at the same time, you know, you can get those faces to come up a bit nicer again with the wire brush, because the rock's quite soft. You'll just take a layer of the rock off,
Yeah.
and it won't take too long.
Okay.
Okay, so as you can see, this is our first, well, it's not finished obviously, it's like we finished for the day. It's quite hard work. But it's our first wall by Omar and me. I think it went really well. Obviously it's not perfect, but nothing first time ever is. So, but we're very happy with the result. So we're gonna pack now and we're gonna clean everything up because we're very tired. Almost going to have a shower. Simon's almost finished for today as well. And I show you his wall, what he's done. Obviously it's a lot bigger because it's a lot faster and it looks a lot nicer. But that bit of the wall is going to be super seen by people, so that needs to be really nicely done.
As this wall over here is made mostly of stone, it needs to be pointed because it's so exposed to the elements. So this wall would also be pointed, so they both match and look cohesive. Hence why Simon hasn't been too worried about exposing the cement mid-seal.
When this cat is always like this. Why are you always like that? Why you always want attention? Danny. Stuff like that always happens when I film.
First one I've broken today. Believe it.
It's Monday morning. Well, it's actually noon now. The guys have been working at it all morning and we've been doing a lot of progress. And Simon obviously is a lot faster because he's a professional and it's amazing to see the work as well. We're learning so much with him. And then Omar has been working on that wall still. But it's not a race, but it's just for you guys to see what it takes for someone who's done this before and an amateur and two people doing one wall, how long it takes. This is why it's so important to have professionals and that know what they're doing in your projects. Not only you're going to save so much time, but it is fun to be involved because we're going to be looking at that wall later on and be, you know, we did that. That's amazing. And I think also the more we do it, the more we're going to get better at it because we get the hang of it. There's certain things that you have to look at. For example, you have to use quite a bit more cement that I thought you needed to. And also the facing stones need to either be flat or like this because that way it's easier to stack them up. Not like this, because then you have a gap and it compromises the whole structure. Also, I wanted to show you that, you know, how we're doing the walls, the facing, we're not doing all the way to the corners. That reason is because we need different stones. So preferably we want stones that are nicely flat on one side and the other side, so it makes a nice corner. Also, the corners of the structure need to have pillars done with reinforced rebar. okay, so there's going to be some cages built for it. So we need to do that first in order to then face it with stone. So really good morning. I'm really excited. There's a lot of progress. You know, I'm really happy that we're preserving that aesthetic of this building, and I really hope that the people that lived here before really like what we're doing here, because I think we're doing a really good job.
I was getting quite close to the edge of the concrete block, so my mission then was to flatten the top as much as possible, so when it dries and then we have to continue the work several days later, it's quite easy to continue. Some of the rocks are challenging to place, but as long as you minimize the gaps on the front and you leave a good surface to stack the next rock on top, it's easier to continue. You also want to make sure to pick some stones that go all the way to the back of the wall and stagger them along the whole wall to make it stronger, especially the bottom part of the wall. You also need to add some smaller stones and make sure there isn't big areas of just cement mix. The more mix there is, the weaker the wall is. So the mix is just there to bind the rocks together.
Well, as you can see, that's been the work of the day. If the audio is a bit funny, the GoPro doesn't have any microphone because it's raining and the other camera is a bit sensitive to the rain. But yeah, that's been the progress for today and I'm very happy with the progress. Obviously this is taking a little bit longer for us, but that's fine. We're learning loads, very happy with it. And I just ran out of mix and it's raining, the weather's turned on us today, so we're gonna leave it for now and tomorrow we can continue. But yeah, that's gonna be a nice wall. What you do after with the cement that's like stuck in the, as you can see, the end is full of cement, the face of it, you go with the metal brush and a lot of the cement will come out, which will make it look a lot better. So hopefully that will happen once the whole thing is done. You can just go with a brush. But what I have been trying to do is to not put cement about 3 centimeters in. Okay, so when you put the stone, the last 3 centimeters to the face of it, you don't put any cement. You only put it after, and that's where it will get glued on. So then you avoid the cement showing, because you don't want the cement showing. I don't think we're going to be pointing these walls because they don't need to be pointed, just like the wall of the window. So yeah, I think it looks really good. It's looking amazing.